All right, what's going on, guys? I just got home from work. It is currently March 15th. I leave for Tx2K in 2 days. So I haven't really had a great week. The last video I posted was basically explaining the leaking on the radiator. So when I first started filling the car with water, that's when we found the leaks in the radiator. Went to Mikey, we attempted to fix it. I got back home. I ran water through the engine, I pressure tested it, and pop, we found a few more leaks. So fortunately, those have been resolved. You can see we had to weld both sides of this can. Whenever I purchased this can, it came with 2 mounting flanges on each side, and I ended up cutting those off. And I guess whenever I was trimming or grinding the metal to smooth it out, I went too thin, and whenever the pressure built up in the tank, it broke on both sides. So we got that situated. As far as the radiator is concerned, that was an absolute nightmare. So I've never dealt with a radiator before. I know Mikey has made them before, like custom radiators, but it's a rabbit hole. So the way the radiators are designed, you have the tubes that flow the water through, and on the end, it's a casted piece is what it seems like to me, but that metal is so thin. So what we ended up having to do ultimately is we actually cut 3 rows out of the radiator. Whenever we had the initial repair, we found out the tube was actually leaking, and the rabbit hole down to a couple tubes. So anyway, at the end of the day, we had to chop 3 tubes out of the car, 3 rows. I'll show you like that. It's pretty interesting how it works. I mean, obviously I just lost, would that be an 1.5 inches worth of cooling? But you can see, it's all capped off. I got my radiator shroud back on. So the cool part is it was fixed on, it would have been Friday night. So I got the car all back together. I had it warmed up, I bled it, everything seems all right. Saturday night rolls around and I need to put some miles on it. So I actually took it out last night, or 2 nights ago now, and put 35 miles on the street. And I completely forgot it had like a mid 8-second tune in it. And the first time I rolled it on the street, it scared the ever-living shit out of me. Because I had only driven the car with that much power at the track. I've never had the car with that much power on the street. So it was pretty nutty. So my tradition with Miggy is every time I get my car up and running, no matter what it was. I mean, when I had my turbo 4-cylinder, I used to go to Wawa for dinner just to have a lunch, have the car parked there. I can eat and look at my car, and I'm happy as hell. Wawa is one of my favorite places to eat at, even though it's at a gas station. It's good food. So me and Miggy went to Wawa, and I just started driving around that night. And like I said, ultimately I put 35 miles on it. And yeah, I mean, I didn't really have any real major issues. One thing is I'm learning on. So my system that I have, the cooling system, this is what they refer to as an expansion tank. Well, now I'm understanding the reason why they call it an expansion tank is I need to leave room in here for the water level to expand. So if I pull the cap off, you can see it's not filled up to the top. The water level is pretty low down there. Well, if I fill it all the way to the top and I go and get on it, it starts boiling out. So I've learned that I have to make it so there's space in there. So that's one thing I've learned. Now, one thing, if you guys didn't understand, obviously the whole turbo kit has changed since last year's setup. The 100% reason why this all changed was so I could put a radiator back on the front of the car. When the radiator was in the back, it was rear mounted, it was actually horizontal under the trunk of the car, and I guess anytime I went over about 55 miles an hour, the car would start overheating. Anything under it'd be fine. So I had enough cooling fan for lower speeds, but I guess when I started reaching those higher speeds, the air was actually going up and over the radiator, but the fans weren't strong enough to pull it through, even though it was 4,000 CFM. I think it was just the way it was designed because there was no shroud. So I've never actually driven the car with the V8 on the highway, ever. I've tried it once. I lied. I tried it once, but I was never able to maintain temperature. It went up to like 225. Car went into limp mode and I couldn't really do much. So it wasn't enjoyable. I couldn't actually do it. Well, I actually went on the highway when I drove it the other night, and it maintained 188 degree temperatures, just cruising down the highway. Now, it was a cooler night out, sure, but the fact that I've never been able to drive this car on the highway ever and just enjoyed it, it was absolutely life-changing. Like, I am beyond happy. That is exactly why I redid this entire setup. So the car is a lot more, or should be a lot more streetable. So the other night when I first started filling it up with water, I had it running for about, let's see, 7 or 8 minutes. I didn't have the fan on. The temperature went up to about 188 degrees. I turned the fan on and it brought the temp all the way down to like 175 degrees. And that was just here idling in the garage. So I know the radiator setup now is actually working pretty well. So that's a big sigh of relief on my part. The only issue I had on this drive was I lost my alternator belt. So this has got to be something that I'm gonna have to address soon. Not obviously before Texas, but like right now, if I move this belt, the alternator has a bit of a flex to it. You can kind of see I got a little bit of a springiness going on here, and I already have it at full adjustment and I can't get a belt any shorter. So I'm kind of in a weird bind with that. But one thing I learned is, I already knew this was kind of close, but I guess with the exhaust being this close to the belt, I actually melted the belt on the drive the other night. So the only thing I can think of to do is put some heat wrap. But basically whenever we get back from Texas, I'm gonna get with Mikey. We're actually gonna be cutting the Y pipe and making it so it stays away from the balancer completely. It's kind of one of those things that was kind of the intention when we went to start the fabrication process. But as you guys know, I have a very small car and we're trying to fit a lot in a little space. But that is something that we need to take care of before it gets any worse. But other than that, I had 0 issues on the entire drive. It drove absolutely amazing. Scared the ever-living shit out of me when I got into it on the street. But very happy. So one thing I gotta change before we go is I had to replace the starter. This piece right here, this little black piece right here, was actually sliding and rubbing on the flex plate, which made the weirdest sound ever. I thought I had a bearing failure in the engine or something. But I gotta put that on. I have a leak on the transmission, so I have to stop by FTI tomorrow before I go to work, grab a new seal for the tail shaft on the drive shaft, and then little odds and ends. So I wanted to check in with you guys. You know, I haven't really made a video at all in the past week. I just been stressing over this radiator situation, but everything's looking good now. The only variables I have left is I have to get the body panels back from Randy, and then the hood that I had cut up, I have to run a hood for the event. They said that in the rules. So we're just gonna have that quickly wrapped black. The cut is ugly, but if I pass tech with the rules, it's whatever. So I finally did end up getting the parachute lever completely installed. I put riv nuts through the trans tunnel, and I finally got my new center console carpet installed. So the center console now is looking pretty snazzy. No more exposed ugly welds of mine. And yeah, life is good. So I just want to give a little update. I've been stressing about this for a while now. Like I said, we're leaving in 2 days, and I would say I'm pretty prepared. I wish I would have been able to go to the track or get on a dyno or something, but judging by how everything else is going with the car, it's running, I'm pretty confident it'll be all right. The only thing that I'm freaking out about internally is the rear end, because I wasn't able to make it solid mounted like I wanted to. So we still have the possibility of the diff flopping around because of the rubber bushings. But I'm just gonna try to keep it soft to the 60 foot and then throw the power out the back. So anyhow, I'm gonna continue this video tomorrow. I have some stuff I gotta do to the trailer, and I have some stuff, like I said, I'm gonna do the car before I head to work tomorrow. Yeah, I'll catch you in the morning. Well, so a funny turn of events has happened this past week. I actually lost the GoPro. I had no idea where it was. And here we are a few days later and I finally found it. So as you can see, we're sitting in the trailer, pretty much getting everything packed up. I got my track banner with me, the turtle. I'm just packing everything up. I got all my oils and such. I hung up my bin for the door. Got my brake clean, fluids, towel, everything like that. Everything I'm gonna need at the track I picked up. And then I've been going through just getting everything else situated. I did end up getting a new set of max straps. The other ones I had were 4 years old. I used them on the open car trailer and you know, they went through all the weather and I've been seeing that they are starting to fray and I don't want to have any issues ever traveling with the car because I've had a strap break in the past that's cost me a front bumper. Don't want to deal with that. So it's currently Thursday night and like I said, I'm cleaning, getting ready to getting the trailer ready and then getting the car on the ground in a little bit. Got a little bit of work I need to do to it, but man, we're leaving tomorrow night. Stressed out, stressed out. All right, so it's nighttime. I've been so busy today. I haven't filmed anything. I had to run a lot of errands today. I had to go to FTI to pick up a transmission seal. I did end up putting my crank sensor back in my fresh starter because I had an issue with my last starter. Went to Real Street. I picked up some 1-ethanol S E85 fuel. And then right now, the biggest cool thing is Austin just came by and we just wrapped the hood. So, I mean, the hood isn't cut exactly how I liked it. I mean, there's a lot of material I could have left. But I mean, for what it is, I mean, this is going to pass tech. And I specifically asked if I have to run a hood, and they said yes. So, it is what it is. I mean, this was obviously all last minute. Austin did a phenomenal job, so I'm very happy with that. And yeah, so I still have the front end. Obviously, we're waiting on. I'm trying to get a hold of Randy to see where we're at with the front end. Gear oil, I can always do at the track. Underglow, we're going to do at the track. Trans leak, I might have to wait till I'm in Texas as well. So it's right now. Today is Tuesday. Today is March 16th. It's actually my birthday, so I took the day off from work and I've been working on the car. And this is pretty much where we're at with it. I would like to do the pinion leak. I'm sorry, the tail shaft leak on the trans. I would like to do that here. But other than that, I'm just waiting on Randy to say the panels are done so I can bolt up the front end and pack the trailer and let's get the heck out of town. So yeah, I just want to give you guys an update. I know I didn't really do anything right now. It's more of just a big talking video, but I have been kind of busy and I've also been kind of a ghost as far as videos are concerned. But I mean, this Texas trip is just stressing me the hell out. So I will make a video tomorrow packing. Hopefully that should be uploaded by Thursday while I'm at the track or something. But there'll be videos coming out over the course of the week. So definitely have to film Tx2K. That's a huge milestone for me in the car. So can't thank you guys enough for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.